Good morning and welcome to your Friday Faith Fill Up. I'm going to talk about math this morning. Don't turn it off right away. Some people don't like math. We had a student that was struggling with some math problems, and you look at the problem and you try to figure out where are they going wrong. What is it that they can't figure out in this? And lo and behold, when you stop and you look at it and watch how they're doing the problem, they forgot one really important thing. The very first step in a complex math problem is to do what's in the parentheses first before you do anything else. You have to do what's in the parentheses. And that got me to thinking about our upcoming revival. I'm excited about it. I think God's going to do some great things. But got me to think about revival, what revival looks like, and many times we want to look at the end of what revival is, the result, and the change that's there in people's lives and what God does, and that's good. We should look at that. We should be excited about it, but we've got to remember how you get to that place. And biblically, we find some things that really point towards that in Isaiah chapter 57 and in verse number 15. The Bible says, "For thus saith the high and lofty one that inhabiteth eternity, whose name is holy. I dwell in the high and holy place with him also, that is of a contrite and a humble spirit, to revive the spirit of the humble and to revive the heart of the contrite ones." Can I just put it very plainly? The parentheses, if you will, when it comes to revival, is humility, or probably a better way of saying it is brokenness. There has to be a brokenness for us to really experience revival. We like the end, but let's look at what is required to be able to get to that place. He talks about in this passage talks about a contrite heart, a humble spirit. That there needs to be something in there that's bringing us down to a place where we realize that we're not all of that. We're not as great as we think we are. And in a sense, we could say it's really the realization that we come to say that we need revival. We have to have it in our lives. But a well-known passage really helps us with this as well. 2 Chronicles chapter 7 and in verse number 14, the Bible tells us, "If my people which are called by my name shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face." That's the parentheses. That's what we've got to be looking at, understand that, and then turn from their wicked ways. That's added to the equation. The end of that is, then will I hear from heaven and will forgive their sins and will heal their land. But the first part of that is so important for us, that there has to be the praying, there has to seeking God's face, there has to be the humbling of ourselves. What is all of that? That is getting to the place of brokenness, to the place where we deal with our sin. We've got to look toward revival and what that's going to produce in our lives, but in our own lives, we've got to prepare for it. We've got to come humble. We've got to get to the place where we know that we need revival because we're broken, because we're maybe asleep, because we're maybe disconnected, whatever it might be. So I just want to encourage you, before we even get to the place of our revival starting this Sunday, that you would allow God to show some things in your life that need to change, that you would come humble and that you would come broken and ready for God to do something great in your life. So let's humble ourselves before God and see what He can do in the coming days that we're going to have revival at our church. Well, I hope this has been a blessing to you. We'll see you on Sunday morning.